Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coat's on back order, and it's time for this week's Pokemon TCG Live Online match, week number 64 in the series. 64, just like Nintendo 64. Yeah! Anyway, we're continuing the trend of taking a look at the Break evolutions from the new X and Y Evolutions expansion. The last one to take a look at is Starmie BREAK, and we're going to take a look at the deck I've assembled, which I am calling Break Breaker, because as you will see, once we take a look at the Pokemon in question, Starmie BREAK is kind of an interesting card. Have 130 HP, which is kind of low, I think, for a Break evolution, but that's what it has. And for one single water energy, Break Star does 100 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon Break. Don't apply weakness and resistance for the bench Pokemon. So, we might not even really make use of this attack, because it all depends on if the opponent is going to be having some Pokemon Break themselves. If they don't, essentially, all Starmie BREAK is going to be useful for here is adding some more HP and changing the typing, as you will see as I get to the other cards in the deck. But I've got two Starmie BREAK in the deck. If we do happen to see some Break evolutions, awesome. We'll get to see this attack, get some pretty decent use. If not, I got some other ideas in mind for how to make use of Starmie, the regular Starmie, not the Break evolution. So I've got three Starmie in the deck. I'm using one from the Evolutions expansion because it doesn't feel right using the Break evolutions from the X and Y Evolutions expansion without at least including one of the Pokemon that it Break evolves from that expansion. So, we have one of these Starmie, 90 HP, the ability Space Beacon, kind of like Energy Retrieval. Once during your turn before your attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, put two basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. You can't choose a card you discarded with the effect of this ability. So it's like the Energy Retrieval, except you do lose a card from your hand in the process. But I can sort of make use of that, as you'll see as I get to some more description of the deck this week. Star Freeze for water and a colorless, 30 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, the opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Not a lot of power for a rare card. So we might not really see this Starmie used in battle, or might not even play it in this match, or these matches, depending on how many you get to see. But if we do, the Space Beacon ability is probably going to be the more useful aspect of Starmie, not so much the attack. But I am going to include a couple of Psychic-type Starmie from the Primal Clash expansion. As I said, Psychic-type, so it has a different weakness. Instead of being weak to Grass, this one's weak to Psychic. And Synchro Star for one energy of any type, and do a whopping 10 damage. But if this Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon have the same amount of energy attached to them, this does 60 more damage. So you could do 70 if you have the same amount of energy attached as the opposing Pokemon. Another nice thing with this Starmie is a free retreat cost, so you can switch it back to the bench for no energy loss. That is kind of a detriment. If I have a lot of energy on Starmie and the opposing active Pokemon has only a few, I want to be able to get energy off of Starmie to weaken it down to power up Synchro Star. And I can't do that by retreating for an energy card, but I've got other things in mind. Anyway, so there are two of those Starmie in the deck, three basic Staryu just to evolve up into. I had a couple from the Breakpoint expansion because as far as Starmie goes, they don't really have a lot of reliable attacks. There was one I saw that says flip a coin until you get tails. I hate attacks like that because half the time you're going to flip tails and do nothing. Then there was another Starmie that says flip a coin, if tails, this attack does nothing. Again, half the time you're going to flip tails, just based on sheer percentages. So, this is the most reliable Staryu. For one water, you can do 20 damage. Downside is this one only has 40 HP. So we're going to have to evolve out of that quickly to be able to get some more reliable HP in play. So 3 Staryu, 3 Starmie, 2 Starmie BREAK, and I'm going to skip down here to the other water types for now. I need draw support in the deck because I'm not using Scorched Earth. There's no fire or fighting energy. So my backup plan for draw support in any of my decks is Octillery, of course. The ability of Abyssal Hand. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 in hand. And I've got 2 of these in the deck, 2 Remoraid. I just chose a couple of different ones. I'm not really going to use them for attacking if possible. You never know, they could see themselves in the active spot, but more often than not, just to retreat and then evolve into Octillery because they have a 1 retreat cost. Octillery has 2. So I want to retreat for 1 energy first and then evolve up if I can help it. So 2 Remoraid, 2 Octillery, and for a little bit more energy manipulation on my side, I'm going with Magnezone. The Magnetic Circuit ability says as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a lightning energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So, for example, let's say we've got this Starmie in the active spot, 1 energy attached. The opponent has like, say, 4 energy on their Pokemon. I could use the Magnetic Circuit, attach 3 more lightning energy to Starmie. Suddenly I do have the same amount of energy attached. I can use Synchro Star for 70 damage instead of just a measly 10. So that is going to be 2 Magnezone in the deck, 2 basic Magnemite, and I like these ones with Sparkling Induction because as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, its retreat cost is 1 less for each Magnemite on your bench, and it only has 1 retreat cost to begin with. So if I have 2 Magnemite in play, essentially they're going to provide each other free retreat costs, which is pretty nice. And 1 Magneton. As you can probably imagine, with 2 Magnemite, 2 Magnezone, and 1 Magneton, I've got a couple rare candies in the deck, but we'll get to that momentarily. Now, that's going to be the 17 Pokemon for the deck. Let's scroll down to the energy. We have just 4 basic water energy, and how much is this? 8 basic lightning energy, being 12 energy total in the deck. I have more lightning than water because the Break Star is going to be less likely to be used, again, depending on if the opponent has a Break evolution, but the Synchro Star takes any kind of energy, so I can use water or lightning to power that up. And I didn't mention this yet, though, but I was doing the training or the practicing with this. It's kind of cool to see a Psychic-type Starmie, weak to Psychic, Break evolve into a Water-type Starmie Break, still weak to Psychic. You don't often see Water types that are weak to Psychic-type attacks, so that's kind of cool. So anyway, let's look at the 31 trainer cards for the deck this week. Starting off with a couple of Dive Balls, which I really love in any Water-type deck. Search your deck for a Water Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Essentially, if you're going to have nothing but Water-type Pokemon in the deck, this is like the A-Spec Master Ball without having to... Well, first of all, it's not an A-Spec. You can have as many of these as you like in the deck. It's like an Ultra Ball, but you're not losing anything to play it. It's just so versatile for any Water-type deck, and if you don't have it in a Water deck, I strongly recommend you give this a try. Very useful. I've got 2 energy resets. This is another way I'm going to try to manipulate the energy for Starmie Synchro Star. Put as many energy attached to your Pokemon as you like into your hand. So, kind of the reverse of what I just said a moment ago. If I have too much energy attached and the opponent only has 1, if I've got 4, for example, I can play the energy reset and take 3 back into my hand. Suddenly I, once again, have the same amount of energy attached to the active Pokemon, doing 70 damage with the Synchro Star. I've got 2 energy retrievals. I could probably take one of these out, because if I do get that other Starmie from Evolutions in play, its ability is basically an energy retrieval. But if I don't want to lose a card from hand, these 2 energy retrieval cards are going to be the better way to do that. I've got 2 energy switches, again, trying to manipulate the energy on my Starmie for Synchro Star. I can move a basic energy from one of my Pokemon to another. I can either move it off of Starmie if I need to reduce its energy, or move it onto Starmie if I need to increase it. And I've got an Evo Soda to evolve some Pokemon up. I've got 2 Professor's Letters, find 2 basic energy from the deck. A couple of rare candies, as I said, to try to evolve from Magnemite into Magnezone immediately. And a couple of Super Rods. As you'll see, I have Sycamore again in the deck. And I've said many times, I don't like using Sycamore when I don't have ways to get back cards that I'm discarding from my hand. Super Rod is a definite good way to do that. You can shuffle 3 cards in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy right back into your deck. Next up, we've got an Ultra Ball. Usually I'll put 2 in the deck, but I find with a lot of Water types in the deck, the Dive Balls kind of take the place of the Ultra Ball, and I've got other ways to get my Electric-type Pokemon into play. For example, Bridget, you'll see in a moment, and I guess that's it. But I've got ways to draw, support my draw support, I guess, as you'll see. Anywho, we got 2 Versus Seekers as well. Definitely a top-level card. Put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. Supporters, of course, are normally just use 1 and they're gone, but you can bring any supporter back, and if you haven't played a supporter yet that turn, play it right then. Now, starting with those supporters, I've got Bridget here. Search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX or 3 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. So we don't have any EXs, we just got basic Pokemon to begin with, so you can get 3 of those onto the bench. We have Judge. I'm going to mention Judge and N in conjunction with one another, because this is where I find I have trouble with Octillery sometimes. I'll have a really big hand of cards, and none of them are useful. I need new cards, but because of the Abyssal Hand only letting me draw until I have 5 in hand, it's not going to help me. I can't get other cards. So I can play, for example, Judge. Both players shuffle their hand into the deck, then draw 4 cards. At this point, I can play out whatever cards I get from those 4, then I can use the Abyssal Hand to go back up to 5. Similarly, I can play N, and if I'm actually winning the match, if I got, like, say, 3 prizes remaining, each player shuffles their hand into the deck and draws cards equal to the number of the remaining prize cards. So if I just happen to draw 3, play out whatever ones I can then Abyssal Hand back up to 5. So whenever I'm going to use the Octillery Abyssal Hand ability, I want to include Judge and N in the deck, just to give me some more, I guess, more versatile draw support. I've also included Lysandre, of course. I always say you want to have at least 1 Lysandre in your deck, drawing out one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So if they're powering something up on the bench to try to get ready for the next turn, you can bring it up before it's ready, possibly knock it out, and there goes all the energy they were attaching to it. Pokemon Center Lady, heals 60 damage and a special condition from a Pokemon. There's that Sycamore, discarding your hand and drawing 7 fresh cards, which could come in handy. I've got 2 Skylas in the deck, of course. I like to have 2 in the deck because so versatile. Search your deck for any trainer card. put it in your hand, or reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle up. So you can find any item, any stadium, any supporter you need. Of course, you can't use that supporter just yet, but she can set you up for the next supporter you're going to play on your next turn. The final supporter is good old Wally. Search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it on that Pokemon, except for EXs. You can also play this on the very turn that you just put that Pokemon into play, which is very nice. Now, since I've got nothing but water and a lightning Pokemon, except for these two Starmie, but if I break evolve, of course, it will become water again, I've got Rough Seas. Once during each player's turn, they may heal 30 damage from each of their water and lightning Pokemon. So definitely a good way to get some healing on there. The last thing I'm going to give a try. Now, this is kind of situational depending on if I can actually make use of the Break Star attack, the Wide Lens. I don't think I've used this yet, but damage from the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to is affected by weakness and resistance for your opponent's bench Pokemon. So, if they happen to have a Break Evolution on their bench that is weak to water, I'll be doing 200 damage using the Break Star attack, which is enough, I believe, to knock out any Break Evolution that currently exists. I didn't mention this yet, but currently all the Break Evolutions have at least 110 HP. I think 130 is probably the lowest that it goes. So you're never going to get a one-hit KO on the Break Star attack. You're going to have to hit them twice. But if they are weak to water, it could be a one-hit KO. You're doing 200 damage. So that is going to be the Breaker deck. We got 17 Pokemon, 31 trainers, and 12 energy cards. Let's jump into some matches right now and see how well Starmie BREAK does in week number 64 of our Pokemon TCG live online matches. Alright, our first opponent is up. It's going to be Dako90 with a colorless and fire type deck, so we might get to see some good power from the Break Star if they Break Evolve, of course. So let's see who takes the first turn. My computer's being super laggy today, unfortunately. I've got to get this new computer, new processor next year as soon as I can, because I want to get some better quality footage, some more fluid video. So we actually win the coin flip. They call tails. Alright, let's take the first turn and see if we can get myself set up with a nice hand of basic Pokemon. Actually, I have, and they don't. This is a complete oddity for the Professor Chaz channel. The fact that the card will not play is pretty much for the course. But anyway, I've got a decent setup here. I've got Bridget in hand. I can get some more basic Pokemon down. Show me a Break Evolution. In fact, show me any of your cards. Wait for them to load in. We see Burning Energy. Would this be a Ninetales Break deck? That would be kind of interesting. We could one-shot that with a nice Break Star attack. So, what do they have for their... Okay, they got a Pokemon this time. So we could take a card from the mulligan. And I'm going to not... Let's play it more evenly. Oh, we got a Magmar from the Evolutions expansion. If we do see a bunch of Evolution cards, the Ninetales Break is a possibility. Let's grab a Remoraid, a Staryu, and a Magnemite. Drop them all to the bench. We have Magneton in hand and Octillery. What I'm going to do here is play the Dive Ball and grab another Staryu, because I want to get some cards out of my hand. I could grab the Starmie. That might be the better way to go, but we don't have energy yet in hand anyway, so let's just go ahead with Staryu. I want to see if I can evolve into the Synchro Star Starmie, actually. I'll drop Staryu to the bench. Next turn I can play 2 cards from hand to evolve, and I can then make use of Octillery's Abyssal Hand to draw back up to 5 cards. No energy yet to work with, though. And a Healing Scarf being added to the Magmar, powering up for the Fire Punch of 30 damage. Next we find Water Energy, definitely good. So we're going to evolve into Octillery on the bench, evolve into Magneton. We can play... Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this to the Staryu, and then I'm going to Energy Switch it. It's kind of a waste, but I just want to get a card out of hand. I'll move this to the Active Pokemon. If I need to retreat, I can. And let's go ahead and Abyssal Hand, draw 3 more cards. We don't see the Synchro Star, but we do see Skyla. I can grab an Evo Soda. Right there. And we have Starmie BREAK in hand as well. Let's go ahead and evolve up into a... Whoop, not that one. We'll grab this. Actually, you know what? No, I was going to go ahead and evolve into the other Starmie with the Space Beacon ability. Then I could retreat, get that energy back in hand. But I think this is probably the better way to go. I can now... Technically, I can evolve into this Octillery. The retreat cost is going to be heavier, but I can get another Abyssal Hand going. A Dive Ball and an N. Excellent. Alright, so let's go ahead and Dive Ball. Here's I'm going to take the Starmie break, or sorry, the regular Starmie now. I have an idea. I'm going to play the Starmie. On the next turn, I'm going to end. See if I can grab myself another energy off of that, and if not, I can play out other cards and use Abyssal Hands. See if I can get a second energy in hand. I can then retreat the Octillery for 2, use the Starmie on the bench, the water type, to use the Space Beacon and draw those energy back. When I retreat the Octillery, I can bring the Psychic Starmie up, Break Evolve, I can get those 2 energy, attach 1, Synchro Star. You're gonna see some stuff. So, Skyla has been played on the opposing side. Look for any trainer card. As I've said many times, Skyla is an amazing card to work with. So many options, especially if you have a nice deck full of trainer cards. And the top level decks, like what is it? Well, they can't use this turn, of course, that's the supporter. Some of the top level decks use up to 45 trainer cards, which is kind of crazy. So this match is over because, check this out. Break Evolve. Attach energy, retreat into the Starmie break. I'm going to bring the energy back into hand. Let's just toss out the Super Rod. Bring back the 2 energy, and attach 1 to the Starmie break. Wait, it's not over yet! I forgot all about this. I already attached 1 energy for the turn. So, they survive 1 more turn. I didn't calculate this properly. Scorched Earth. Very nice. Now they can play Tierno. Alright, I'm hoping that they get some more basic Pokemon. There we go. I wanted to have a more interesting battle going on here. So, Experience Share has been added, but here's where things start to turn in our favor. We're going to simply go for the Synchro Star. 140. And they're going to move an energy onto the Slugma. Even if they attach an energy to it from hand next turn, I can attach 1 from my hand, get that Synchro Star back to 70 damage, weakness to water is going to be 140. Slugma's pretty much done, unless they can Team Flare grunt my energy away. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, is there any way I can accelerate my energy? I'm going to throw an energy onto the Starmie just so I can hit. So I can launch an attack. I'm now going to end. If I can get Magnezone plus a lightning energy, I can pull this off. Hey, check that out. Ultra Ball. This is going to be the game. Ultra Ball a couple cards away, grab myself a Magnezone. What I'm going to do is, of course, make use of the Magnetic Circuit, attach that second lightning energy. I've suddenly got 2 energy attached, just like the Slugma on the opposing side. And the Synchro Star is going to be the knockout. So this was a quick match. You can get to see the Break Star attack being made use of, but at least we saw Starmie Break get the knockouts, and we see some power in the Synchro Star, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to see if I can get another match recorded showing off the Break Star attack. So if so, stay tuned for that. Alright, my final opponent is Fox Marcel with a metal and colorless. They have the advantage over us, which is kind of true because metal is resistant to psychic. So if we use the Synchro Star, we'll have to break evolve into Starmie Break to be able to do water damage. Hey, look at that. As I ramble, I get the coin flip. Cool. But I can break evolve into Starmie Break, still use the Synchro Star, but be doing water type damage instead. What is the best way to go here? I'm going to lead the Magnemite, actually. I'll put Staryu to the bench. I can play the Die Ball, get a Remoraid. I can Skyla for... What should I Skyla for? I don't know. Let's see what I happen to draw off the top, though. We are going first. And we find a Beldum. Okay, so... Die Ball for a Remoraid, because next turn I can evolve and make use of draw support with the Octillery. I don't know what I should get for Skyla, though. Something I can play sort of immediately. I guess... I might as well get an Evo Soda and get the... What is it? The Synchro Star Starmie for next turn. And just to be safe, I'm going to put this onto the Staryu. Because what I can do, I can play the Octillery, evolve into Starmie with Synchro Star. I can play N, and see if I can happen to get another Magnemite for free retreat. Oh, we resist your attack, too. That's nice. So, as I say, Evolution into Octillery. Evo Soda into Starmie. And let me think, what is the best thing to do here? I will end. See, I could either Abyssal Hand now, but I think I'll end. See what we get. There's that Magnemite I wanted. Now, if only we could get Starmie Break in play immediately. So the match is not done just yet. But I can do 50, because I'll do 70 minus the resistance of 20. So not quite a knockout, but I think getting damage off now is the best way to go. Let's go ahead and drop this to the Magnemite. I don't even really think I need a Dive Ball yet. But to thin the deck, I will Dive Ball. Let us get another Staryu. And I can also Abyssal Hand. Have I used a supporter? Yes, I used End. I was going to say, if I Abyssal Hand for Wally, I could then Break Evolve using Wally, but a supporter has been used up. So let's go ahead and Synchro Star, 50 damage. So they will possibly be able to evolve. But if they do, I think that's pretty much game, because I can just Break Evolve. Oh, actually, they got another Pokemon. Never mind. And they kind of gave up on the active one, I see. Alright, fair enough. Okay, Skyla. What do you find with your Skyla? Max Elixir. Alright. Smart way to go. They're going to be able to possibly, off the top 6 cards of the deck, attach another energy to their benched basic Pokemon. But this is going to hit me for 10. Alright then. So let us now Break Evolve. And I'm going to Versus Seeker for Skyla. Grab myself a Rare Candy, because I do have 2 options to Rare Candy up into Magnezone right now. We've got both of them in the deck. Let's grab it and not Break Evolution, Rare Candy Evolution. This Magnemite into Magnezone. And, in preparation for another Starmie Break, I'll start attaching energy to the Staryu here. We'll Magnetic Circuit one more onto the Staryu. And now I can make use of Abyssal Hand. See what else we find off the top. Well, 4 cards of the deck. Another Remoraid. I could also... I'm not going to thin the hand just yet. Next turn I can use the Magnetic Circuit. So right now, I'll just get the knockout. Synchro Star, 70 damage, because it's no longer resistant to our Water-type damage. And what do we find here? We find Professor Sycamore. Probably want to make use of that if need be. If they do manage to get a couple of energy attached onto the Beldum that's on the bench, I could go into another Synchro Star Starmie. Let me think here. Well, if I play Sycamore, I couldn't Wally into the Starmie Break. But we can at least get some good damage off with the active Starmie Break here. So instead, the Zigzagoon's going to come up. So Max Elixir, they're going to play that, try to get some energy to the Beldum. There we go. They got 2 on there now. They got 3 on there now. Ninja Boy. Switch one basic for another. I've never seen this used yet. Which one are they going to switch? They've turned into Magearna-EX. Not bad. Prevent all effects of opponent's attacks except damage done to each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached to it. Okay. Interesting play. Let me think. Well, I can do some good damage to it. I'm going to put this to the Starmie Break. I will Magnetic Circuit. Put another energy onto Starmie Break. I'm going to drop the Remoraid. I'm going to Lysandre, the Magearna up. And let us now use the Abyssal Hand. And find ourselves not another Starmie with Synchro Star, but we can at least do a nice 70 damage. And you can hit me back for 120, which we will survive, fortunately. And let's see what is next for my opponent. Soul Blaster. Actually, no. We won't survive because we already had damage on us. Whoops. However, we can get the knockout. Because I can go ahead and play the Energy Reset, bring back energy cards into hand. You know what? I'm just gonna... Well, too late. I dropped it. I'm gonna grab these two. And I'm going to now Magnetic Circuit, throw a Lightning Energy from hand onto Magnezone, and I can also do it. Alright, I can also play a Water from hand, and simply put, get the knockout. And there goes the EX. So I'll get 2 cards for this. Last thing in is going to be their Zigzagoon. If they have a Ninja Boy, now's the time to play it, but I don't know if it's going to help them or not, because we can do another 100 next turn. We've got Energy Retrieval, we've got Professor's Letter to find some more energy. They've got a Skyla, however. Are they going to be able to make use of this to keep themselves in the match? No? Unless they have another basic to put on their bench. Oh, wait a minute. Sand Attack. That could be a thing. So get a Metagross. We just gotta do 60 damage to this Zigzagoon, though. Actually, no, we gotta do 100 damage to it because of the Fighting Fury Belt. So... what do I do here? I see you. I can go for broke and just bring back the energy that has been lost and try and hope I flip heads. So what I'm going to actually do is start powering up a little bit more. I'm going to put one of these Lightning Energy onto the Magnezone here. In case I fail, though, if I fail a coin flip, I'm going to power up this other Magnemite. Put an energy to it. I will drop a Rough Seas. I guess I'll shuffle back in Starmie BREAK, Starmie, and Staryu. Why not? Put them all back in. Nothing else to play from hand. I'm hoping to find a rare candy, or some way to get Skyla. Wally wouldn't be bad either. I'm going to play out the Wally and go into Magneton. So I do have Magnezone in hand. In fact, this is game. Or is it? Hang on. It's not game yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't evolve into Magnezone just yet. But I could do 80, which is not enough to knock this thing up. So let's just go ahead and see if Thunder Blast is going to do the trick. They survive one more turn. That's alright, though. Now, they can continue the Sand Attack if they want to, but this is going to be the game next turn. I can retreat for the 3 energy, bring Magneton up, evolve the Magnezone, throw an energy onto it, 100 damage, knockout. Alright, they gave it a valiant effort, if nothing else. So we now retreat. Magneton comes up, evolve up, and go for the 100 damage of the Thunder Blast. Is it Thunder Blast? Thunder Blast. That's going to be the knockout. Interesting match. We didn't get to see Starmie BREAK do too much, but at least we got ourselves a victory off of the opponent with this deck. So you saw sort of the idea in play. Too bad we couldn't really get the Break Star attack fired off, unfortunately, though. So that's going to be a wrap for the Starmie BREAK deck of Break Breaker. As I say, it's unfortunate we couldn't really make use of the Breaker Star attack, but it's really situational in that the opponent has to be using Break Evolutions, and I find a lot of people still stick to using Pokemon EX. Break Evolutions haven't caught on as much as I would prefer, because I actually like these over the EXs, but on a in a pinch, if the opponent is using a Break Evolution, at least you can do 100 damage, and the Wide Lens could help you do some more damage if the benched Break Evolution is weak to water. But that is going to be a wrap for this week. If you have any cards you want to see me use, well, first of all, I want to say thanks for watching. And if you like the battle, feel free to leave a like down below. Leave some comments if you want to mention how to improve this deck for some ideas, perhaps, if someone wants to more streamline this for their online competitions and all that. But feel free to let me know what other Pokemon you'd like to see for next week, any sort of maybe even trainer cards you want to see me make use of, any particular Pokemon, some sort of strategies and everything, and just leave that in a comment down below and I'll see what I can do for next week. But if no one has any suggestions, I do have a deck that I put together. It's kind of an oddity for the channel because I don't like to use Pokemon EX, but as soon as I saw Beedrill EX, I thought, why is everything grayed out? Forget that. I thought I want to use this because Beedrill's been one of my favorite Pokemon. I wouldn't say my top level favorites, but definitely one of my favorites from the Kanto days. And the fact that they now have a Mega Beedrill in the TCG, I think is pretty cool. Has a bit of a drawback for the attack of Hazard Stinger. You lose all the energy attached to it. You do 40, but you're doing 40 damage for poison, plus you paralyze by launching the attack. But I have a cool idea to how to make this more reliable turn after turn in the TCG. So I got an idea. I've assembled a deck already. So if nothing else, I'll use this for next week. But if you have any other ideas for cards you want to see, just leave that in a comment down below. And with that, we're going to wrap up the episode. I want to say again, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the battle. And feel free to leave some comments on how to improve the deck. Until next time, basically, though, that's going to be a wrap. So Professor Chaz is signing off. Once more, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.